Good morning, I'm Barbara, and welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, your trusted source for in-depth news and analysis. First, a report by Human Rights Watch reveals that Indonesian authorities are using laws to silence environmental defenders and indigenous leaders who protest deforestation, pollution, and land grabs. The 70-page report documents 15 cases from 2015 to 2025, where police used complaints from companies and politicians to criminalize activists and community leaders demanding customary land rights. This trend has escalated under President Prabowo Subianto's administration, which has deployed the military to expand state-owned mining operations, oil palm plantations, and infrastructure projects. One case that stands out is that of James Watt, an indigenous Dayak farmer in central Kalimantan, who was arrested and sentenced to 10 months in prison under the plantation law for allegedly instigating residents to harvest palm fruits from a disputed concession. Despite Indonesia's National Land Agency concluding that the area was not covered by the company's land title, Watt's efforts to defend his community's land rights were met with criminalization. Meanwhile, another story caught our attention as it explores the intersection of artificial intelligence and indigenous knowledge. A report by Mongabe highlights the challenges of integrating thousands of years of human observation into evolving technology like AI. Indigenous participation is essential to ensure communities have meaningful control over how AI is designed and deployed, rather than just being represented within it. As we delve deeper into these stories, it's clear that there are no easy answers. However, by examining the complexities and nuances of these issues, we can work towards a more balanced understanding of the relationships between environmental conservation, indigenous rights, and governance. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into the world of British politics, where Prime Minister Andy Burnham is facing pressure to address the issue of adult social care in England. Reform UK's Robert Jenrick has urged Burnham to rule out future tax rises to fund his plans, suggesting instead that reforms could be paid for by cutting foreign aid and benefit payments for migrants. Burnham has stated that he wants to examine existing budgets before considering tax rises, but has not ruled them out entirely. He has emphasized the need for a highly integrated system with the NHS and has pledged to boost the pay and training of care workers using existing funds. However, Jenrick has called on Burnham to explicitly rule out what he terms a death tax, citing concerns about uncertainty and worry among taxpayers. It's worth noting that the issue of adult social care is complex and has proven challenging for successive governments to tackle. The current system in England means that individuals with savings over £23,250 are not entitled to help with care costs from their council, although rules vary in Wales and Scotland. As the debate continues, it will be interesting to see how Burnham's government navigates this critical issue. In related news, the Conservatives have also weighed in on the matter, calling on Burnham to rule out tax rises and further borrowing to pay for social care. Meanwhile, Liberal Democrat leader Sir Ed Davey has been involved in talks with Burnham as part of efforts to secure cross-party support for any changes. As we continue to follow this story, it's clear that finding a solution to the challenges facing adult social care will require careful consideration and cooperation from all parties involved. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I want to bring to your attention a developing story that has significant implications for human rights and international cooperation. The European Union is currently negotiating an agreement with Israel that would allow for the sharing of sensitive personal data, including information on racial or ethnic origin, political opinions, and biometric data, between Europol and Israeli authorities. This agreement has raised concerns among experts and institutions, who warn that it could lead to serious human rights risks for Palestinians living under occupation, as well as for Israeli citizens. The transfer of such sensitive data could be used to arbitrarily deprive people of their liberty, subject them to ill treatment, and even support decisions to target and kill Palestinians. The agreement's territorial application is also a point of contention, as it would allow for the use of Europol data in territories occupied by Israel since 1967. This has been criticized as undermining the core limits of the EU's adequacy decision, which allows for safe international data transfers. UN Special Rapporteur Ben Saul has expressed concerns about the adequacy of Israel's data protection framework and safeguards, particularly in light of discrimination in law enforcement and the use of artificial intelligence in data collection and military targeting. As this story continues to unfold, it's essential to consider the potential consequences of such an agreement and ensure that human rights are protected. The EU has a responsibility to uphold its values and principles, including the protection of personal data and the promotion of human rights. That's all for today's Barbaras Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay engaged.